Hi guys, I am Sabarish Kumar studying first year MBBS. I am going to deal with the topic vitamin B1. Before going into the topic, I'll say you under what headings we are going to discuss this topic. So first we'll have an introduction, then I'll explain you about the structure of vitamin B1. Then we'll see about how it is synthesized, what are the sources of this vitamin and how it is absorbed. Then what is its active form, how this activation process occurs, and also at the end its metabolic role and deficiency manifestations. Okay. Introduction. So generally vitamins are classified broadly into fat soluble vitamin and water soluble vitamin. This vitamin B1 comes under water soluble vitamin category. So vitamin B1 is a water soluble vitamin, and this vitamin is chemically called as thiamine. This thiamine is also otherwise called as anurine because this deficiency of this vitamin causes polyneuritis. Again, this vitamin is called as anti-beriberi factor because, as everyone knows, deficiency of vitamin B1 causes beriberi. Okay. Intake of this vitamin must have some functions. What is the major function? Yes, as you all know, this vitamin plays a major role in energy yielding metabolic processes. That is metabolism of carbohydrate, fat and protein. But considerable amount, it plays a major role in metabolism of carbohydrates. Now we'll see the structure. It has a substituted pyrimidine ring along with the thiazole ring, which are linked by methylene bridges. When we see the structure, you will be able to appreciate a sulfur atom present here. So this vitamin is called as sulfur containing water soluble vitamin. This vitamin is soluble not only in water but also in methanol and glycerol. Okay. Now coming to the synthesis. This generally the vitamins cannot be synthesized by the humans or animals. They are synthesized only by the plants and microorganisms. But in small quantities, they are synthesized in the humans by intestinal bacteria. So as vitamins do not require any sort of special sort of digestion, they are directly absorbed as ingested. So before going into the absorption, we'll see the sources of the vitamin B1. So the sources are generally alluron layer of cereals, especially the unpolished rice and whole wheat flour are the major sources. And yeast is also a good source. This vitamin thiamine is heat unstable, which means they are partially destroyed by heat. When we cook food more than 100 degree Fahrenheit, then this thiamine will be destroyed. But they'll be stable in frozen state. So thiamine is partially destroyed by heat, but stable in frozen state. So here we conclude thiamine is a heat unstable, sulfur containing water soluble vitamin. This statement, however, they may ask in an MCQ question. Okay. Now we'll see how this vitamin is absorbed in our body. They are absorbed as such from the intestine and they'll be stored in skeletal muscles, RBCs, brain, kidney and liver. But in larger amounts, they are stored in skeletal muscles. So they are excreted by kidneys in the form of urine. So half-life of this vitamin is 9 to 18 days. Total storage amount will be 300 milligrams. Now coming to the activation. Thiamine itself is inactive. It cannot take place in any biochemical reactions that occur in our body. So it must be activated. From this figure itself, we can see that thiamine is converted into thiamine pyrophosphate. So this conversion makes the thiamine active. So we can say that active form of thiamine is thiamine pyrophosphate. So the enzyme that helping for this conversion is TPP transferase. TPP transferase. So this enzyme involves the removal of two phosphate atoms from ATP. That is, it is an energy consuming process. ATP will be converted into AMP and this pyrophosphate from ATP is removed and added to the OH group of thiamine. So this is what takes place in the conversion of thiamine to thiamine pyrophosphate. So how much amount we should take regularly? This depends on the calorie intake. So only 0.5 milligrams per 1000 calories should be taken, and not exactly it would be around 1 to 1.5 milligram per day is recommended by the ICMR. This vitamin has many metabolic role. As a whole, B complex vitamin have act as a coenzyme for many enzymes. So this TPP or thiamine act as a coenzyme for PDH complex, alpha ketoglutarate dehydrogenase, trans ketolase, and it also plays a major role in tryptophan metabolism, and also it helps in nerve conduction. Okay. Now we'll see one by one in detail. So PDH complex, where does this PDH complex is useful? PDH complex is useful in the conversion of pyruvate to acetyl-CoA, which is the link reaction of aerobic respiration. So this pyruvate to be converted into acetyl-CoA, it needs the enzyme PDH, pyruvate dehydrogenase. This pyruvate dehydrogenase needs TPP to act. So this TPP activates pyruvate dehydrogenase to act. So in the absence of this TPP, pyruvate cannot be converted into acetyl-CoA, so that this pyruvate will be converted into lactate. So what happens? Large amount of lactic acid will be accumulated in skeletal muscles and leads to a condition called lactic acidosis. So to prevent these sort of conditions, TPP is required. In the same form of mechanism, alpha ketoglutarate dehydrogenase also functions. This enzyme involves the conversion of alpha ketoglutarate to succinyl-CoA. This enzyme also requires the TPP as the coenzyme. Next group of enzymes are trans ketolases. This trans ketolases are the major enzymes in the non-oxidative phase of HMP pathway. So in HMP pathway, we get NADPH2, which plays many major functions in our body. For example, free radical scavenging system and phagocytosis. So these trans ketolases group of enzyme require TPP as a coenzyme. Without that, these group of enzymes will not function. So for example, from the name itself, we can understand that trans ketolases involves the transformation of ketone group from the ketose sugar to an aldose sugar. So this is what happens. This is an example. Xylulose 5-phosphate and erythrose 4-phosphate combine to form glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate and fructose 6-phosphate. From xylulose 5-phosphate, ketone group CH2OH group is transferred to erythrose 4-phosphate so that it becomes fructose 6-phosphate, and this becomes glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. Like this, many reactions depend on trans ketolases enzyme. These trans ketolases depend on TPP. Okay, so TPP is very essential for these mechanisms. HMP pathway is a major pathway for carbohydrates. So these trans ketolases play a major role in carbohydrate metabolism, and in turn TPP also play a major role in carbohydrate metabolism. In TPP deficiency, carbohydrate metabolism will not occur properly. That is what is the conclusion. So these are the metabolic role. Now we'll see what happens if TPP or thiamine is deficient in our body. So the first condition which leads to deficiency is beriberi. So in Sinhala, the term beriberi means weakness. The early manifestations are anorexia, dyspepsia, heaviness and weakness. So anorexia means lack of appetite. Dyspepsia is indigestion, and heaviness and weakness. So this beriberi is of many types. For example, dry beriberi, wet beriberi, and infantile beriberi. We will see one by one in detail. First, dry beriberi. So dry beriberi leads with CNS manifestation, which means central nervous system is damaged. And walking becomes difficult when central nervous system is damaged. And peripheral neuritis with sensory disturbance leads to paralysis of muscles. So when peripheral nerves are damaged, here CNS manifestation, when peripheral nerves are damaged, it will lead to a condition called polyneuritis. This polyneuritis condition is mostly observed in chronic alcoholism. So polyneuritis sometimes is observed in pregnancy and also in old age. Next type of beriberi is wet beriberi. So from here itself, you can see the manifestations are edematous development. So there must be problem with CVS. So serious manifestation, edema of face, trunk and body, and also palpitations and breathlessness are observed, along with distended neck veins. So in this condition, death may occur due to cardiac failure or cardiac arrest. Now, from this picture itself, you can understand that the beriberi would be infantile beriberi. Infantile beriberi is nothing but the mother who is vitamin B1 deficient. When she breastfeeds the baby will also be vitamin B1 deficient. So this is the sort of transmission of vitamin B1 deficiency from the mother to the child. That is, from lactating mother to the child, the deficiency is transferred. In this condition, restlessness and sleeplessness are observed. Okay. This ends up beriberi. Deficiency of B1 also leads to other condition called Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome. This is otherwise called as cerebral beriberi. The manifestations are encephalopathy. So from the term itself, you can understand encephalopathy is pathology in the encephalon. Encephalon meaning brain. So there is some sort of problems in the brain. So it leads to conditions like ophthalmoplegia. It is nothing but paralysis of ocular muscles or paralysis of muscles around the eyes. Nystagmus is nothing but rapid eye movement up and down and from side to side. And also it causes cerebral ataxia. Okay. The next condition is psychosis. Psychosis is the patient will be disoriented from reality. This is what Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome and the sense of the deficiency manifestations. So how this deficiency occurs, we'll see. Mainly this deficiency occurs due to impaired absorption. So from the intestine, impaired absorption causes vitamin B1 deficiency. Why impaired absorption is? Chronic alcoholism is the major cause of impaired absorption, because alcohol inhibits the absorption of thiamine. So chronic alcohols must take large doses of thiamine. And one more cause is increased requirement. Increased requirement may occur when we take large amount of carbohydrate food, or also in some old age and pregnancy, lactation. During these conditions, increased requirement may lead to vitamin B1 deficiency. So these are the major causes of vitamin B1 deficiency. I hope this ends up the lecture of vitamin B1, and I'll sum up. First, we saw about the introduction, that is, it is called as thiamine anurine anti-beriberi factor. It is a water-soluble, sulfur-containing, heat-unstable vitamin. This statement is very important. And the sources will be alluron layer of cereals, and yeast is also a good source. They are observed from the intestine and they have metabolic role. They act as a coenzyme for PDH, alpha ketoglutarate dehydrogenase and transketolases. And deficiency conditions will lead to beriberi, and beriberi is of three types: dry beriberi, wet beriberi, and cerebral beriberi. Infantile beriberi. And also there is a condition called Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome. And this ends up the lecture, and the important questions, the short notes may be asked as beriberi, and also beriberi may be a short note, metabolic role may be a short note, and as a whole also they may ask in short notes. Okay. Thank you. I hope this would be useful for everyone. Thank you.